Mike got himself a glass of milk too. That's Skylar's jig. No way I'd go there. He grinned. But she was really cool tonight. Did she come down a Papa Bear or what? My dad took a paper plate out of the cupboard and cut a slice of pie. You boys showed a lot of restraint tonight. I don't know if I could have kept my cool that way. Ah, he's just, entrenched, Matt said. Gotta adjust the perspective and deal from there. Then he added, not that I'd want him as my dad. Mike practically sprayed his milk. Dude, can you imagine? Then Matt gave my dad a slap on the back and said, no way, I'm sticking with my main man here. My mom grinned from across the kitchen and said, me too. I've never seen my father cry. And he didn't exactly sit there bawling. But there were definitely tears welling up in his eyes. He blinked them back the best he could and said, don't you boys want some pie to go with that milk? Dude, said Matt as he straddled a chair. I was just thinking that. Yeah, Mike added. I'm starved. Get me a plate too, I called as Mike dug through the cupboard. Oh, we just ate, my mother cried. Come on, Trina, have some pie, it's delicious. I went to bed that night feeling very full and very happy. And as I lay there in the dark, I wondered at how much emotion can go into any given day, and felt how nice it was to feel this way at the end of it. And as I nestled in and drifted off to sleep, my heart felt wonderfully free. The next morning I still felt good. I went outside and sprinkled the yard, enjoying the splish and patter of water on soil, wondering when that first little blade of grass would spring up into the sunshine. Then I went out back, cleaned the coop, raked the yard, and dug up some of the bigger weeds growing along the edges. Mrs. Duaby leaned over the side fence as I was shoveling my rakings and weeds into a trash can and said, how's it going, Juliana? Making meat for a rooster? A rooster? Why, certainly. Those hens need some motivation to start laying more. It was true. Bonnie and Cledet and the others were only laying about half the eggs that they used to. But a rooster? I don't think the neighborhood would appreciate my getting a rooster, Mrs. Juaby. Besides, if we get chicks, then I don't think we can handle any more poultry back here. Nonsense. You've spoiled these birds. You've spoiled these birds, giving them the whole yard. They can share the space easily. How else are you gonna maintain your business? Soon those birds won't be laying anything at all. They won't? Well, very little. I shook my head and said, they are just my chicks that grew into chickens and started laying eggs. I never really thought of it as a business. Well, my running a tap has probably contributed to that, and I'm sorry. I'll be sure and get you the whole sum this week. But consider buying yourself a rooster with some of it. I've got a friend down on Newcomb Street who is positively green over my deviled eggs. I gave her my recipe, but she says hers just don't taste the same. She winked at me. I'm certain she'd pay handsomely for a supply of my secret ingredient if it became available. She turned to go, then said, by the by, Juliana, you have done a mighty fine job on that front yard. Most impressive. Thanks, Mrs. Diaby. I called as she slid open her patio door. Thanks very much. I finished scooping up the piles I'd made and thought about what Mrs. Diaby had said. Should I really get a rooster? I'd heard that having one around made chickens lay more, whether they were in contact with each other or not. I could even breed my chickens and get a whole new set of layers. But did I really want to go through all of that again? Not really. I didn't want to be the neighborhood rancher. If my girls quit laying altogether, that'd be just fine with me. I put away the rake and shovel, clocked a kiss on each of the hands, and went inside. It felt good to take charge of my own destiny. I felt strong and right and certain. Little did I know how a few days back at school would change all of that.